finna get your ass the game, man. You know I break it down. Come on, man, you know it's Bain.
That's where you were headed, in a sense, with just evaluating the wicks below those candles and comparing the two. But just at, you know, the basic level, this one, you know, the body was bigger than this one. All right. So, sorry, Mandrell, did you get that? Did you understand? You know what I mean? The body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight game like that.
So, guys, do you understand candles, bull candles, bear candles, how they open and close? Yes or no? And again, if you don't, say no, so we can get it right. All right. I want to take this time to get you guys right. That's what I'm about. All right. So again, don't feel any type of way, right? You guys don't know, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't know, but you need to know. And I'm gonna help you know. So again, do you guys understand how bear candles open and close, what the wicks mean, and what the bodies mean? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So, all right, cool. So again, if I point to this, Leonie, what is this?
That
This
is
your
the
pop
wick.
quiz. All right. And what does that represent on, or what kind of candle is this?
A bear candle.
Boom. What does this wick represent? And remember, it's below
How
the
far down
candle. Go ahead, go ahead.
how far price dropped
That's right. And then
to the lowest.
that's right. But then what you know, what happened to make this? Go ahead. What happened to make this a wick?
There was bullish pressure. It pushed it all the way back up.
That's right. So wicks below the candles represent what again? It's a two-word answer.
Pressure.
Yeah. Okay. But I don't know if I don't know if you said it the first word, but I didn't hear it. So give it to me again. Wicks below.
Bullish pressure.
Boom. Okay. Please remember that. All right. That's going to be key to you making money. I'm letting you know right now. All right. So one more time, Leonie. Wicks below the candles represent what?
Bullish pressure.
Wicks above the candle represent
Bearish pressure.
kaboom. All right. So if we're talking bullish pressure, what is that kind of telling you, right? And for the future, what is that telling you? If you're getting bullish pressure on a bear candle for the future, what are you thinking?
The trend might go up, or the next candle at least will be bullish.
Boom. You rolling. All right. You are absolutely rolling. Guys, I promise y'all it's all gonna make sense real soon. Okay. So now, Mandrell, what kind of candle is this right here?
Where you at?
Right here.
Bullish.
Okay. All right. So what kind of candle is this one?
Bullish.
All right. In this candle, did we have more bullish pressure or did we have more bearish pressure? Going off of the wicks alone.
Bullish.
Okay. Why is that? Why do you say it's more bullish pressure?
But the bulls pushed up more than the bears pushed down.
Boom, man. Y'all on it. All right. Y'all on it. Listen, I'm excited. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but listen, once we get to each level and y'all build these candles and what y'all understand so far on top of everything else, guys, taking candy from a baby. I swear to God. Okay. It's levels to this now. So I won't, I'm not going to front to you guys, right? Y'all, we at the basics right now. And then, we're going to get deeper into understanding market structure, price action, and psychology, right? That has its own little hurdle. But guys, when you go step by step in this fashion, in this order, it makes a lot more sense to you than watching 3 million videos or blowing 50,000 accounts or crying and giving up on life and everything else in between. Okay, I went through all the pain so you guys don't have to. All right, I can make all y'all cry if I gave stories right now. All right, so again, please understand, I have a different agenda, if you will, right? I'm not trying to rob you guys. I'm not trying to take every penny you have and things like that. Nah, I got kids. You understand what I'm saying? I've been, I've been in nice companies and the whole nine, right? But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a very tough time in the world. The dollar isn't worth shit, right? We're transitioning over to a new web, a new currency, a new technology, the whole nine, right? New uh, control, if you will, right? And we know, working hard now, it's not even getting us by. You know what I'm saying? Um, so knowing all of that and knowing what Forex has done for me and what it can do for other people, guys, I'm not here to waste your time. All right. So please understand, I'm always available, right? And even in the chance that I'm not available, I'm going to get back to you and we're going to get it figured out. All right. I do one-on-ones. You can go, to my website if you want to get a one-on-one with me. But I promise you guys, like, it's going to turn everything around and y'all going to start making some good money, some crazy money, just doing simple stuff. But like, damn, it was this simple this whole time. Why nobody tell me? It's going to be crazy. All right. So we got the candles down. Welcome, Ro. I saw you crept in, but we was in the mix. Ro, where you from? And how long you been doing Forex? And don't forget to unmute for me if you're talking.
Uh, I am in Tennessee right now from Indiana, but how long have I been doing Forex? Maybe it started like November-ish.
Okay, this year.
Yeah.
Okay, what got you in the mix?
Interested in learning like different ways to trade, cause like you have like options and you have like day trading. So yeah.
So you just reminded me of something that I wanted to point out to Leonie with scalp. You mentioned we talked about scalp trading earlier in the session, and now is it Ro or is it what did you say? I think you said your name was something else. Was
No, it's roll.
Oh, okay. But you're from Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So um you just mentioned different trading styles, right? And again, you guys will hear these terms: scalp trading, day trading, swing trading, right? Those are the top three categories. And again, you could be a scalper in any asset. So you could be a scalper in options, scalper in Forex, scalper in futures, right? You can also be a day trader in Forex, a day trader in futures, day trader in options, right? And you can also be a swing trader in all three of those as well, right? So Leonie, what I want to tell you about scalp trading is that when you are a scalper, you're trying to get in and out of the market super quick. All right. The maximum you're going to be in a trade for is probably 10 to 15 minutes maximum. All right. And that's even probably pushing it a little bit. But something that you guys are going to know about is the time frames, right? We haven't even touched on that yet, but you're going to learn about the time frames. I'm going to give you guys a quick glance, right up here, right, is where you see the different time frames. All right. And you can choose, whatever time you want to show on these time frames. Clearly, you guys see where I have the stars that represent, the time frames that I like looking at the most. All right. But here's the generic breakdown. If you are a swing trader, guys, you're looking at the monthly. So I'm gonna write this down. But again, this is recorded, so don't forget to email me if you want the recording, so that you guys can grab all of these notes and start your journey to freedom. Okay, I'm telling you, guys, this is where it's at. Right from the candles. And again, even though we're skipping a little bit to the time frames, all of these pieces are going to be set in your notes, and you're going to know about them at least enough to say, hey, what this does and what that does. And then I'll say, okay, you got all of it. Now let me show you how to put it in the right order. Right. And then once you put it in the right order, the light bulb comes on, and then you start making headways, and then you start making money, right? And then you have your friends and family start making money. Again, don't really tell them, right? Because that's going to be a whole nother can of worms. But on your own, guys, study this stuff, take it serious, show up, right? And I promise you, you'll be happy that you did. All right. But these time frames, again, on the monthly. So if you're a swing trader, all right, this is swing trader. All right, on the monthly, you're looking for the trend. Okay, on the weekly, you're looking to confirm your trend. All right, and on the daily, you are looking to enter the trade. All right, so you guys should see that in the chat. All right, please feel free to, you know, put them in your notes. All right, that's swing traders. All right, day traders. You're mainly looking at the daily, all right, for your trend. You're looking at the 4-hour to confirm the trend. You're looking at the 1-hour for your entry. All right, there it is for day traders. And last but not least, scalpers. All right. Okay, on scalpers, you are on the 15-minute for the trend. All right, you're on the 5-minute to confirm trend, and you're on the 1-minute to enter the trade. All right, guys, give me a few moments. I got an important call I got to take. Just hang tight with me. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so Leonie, did that make any sense just about the scalpers? Because again, I know that's probably something that you may have not heard about, but that's how they operate, right? They use those time frames to, you know, do exactly what I mentioned, right? The 15-minute, they're looking for a trend. The 5-minute, they're looking to confirm the trend. And the 1-minute, they're looking to enter a trade. So once they see a trade that they want to enter on the 1-minute, they're looking just for, you know, 5 to 10 candles of movement, and then they get out of the trade. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, and I'll give you a quick example of that since we are in replay mode right now. So let's get to the 15-minute. All right, and I'm going to have, you know, we'll just see. Again, I'm not doing really high level marking up and things like that, but you know, I'm just going to go with this right here. So on this 15-minute, what I see, it looks like price is going down, right? I'm just, you know, analyzing it super quick. Looks like price is going down. All right, and I'm just going to put a little level here to tell me that, where price was holding, right? Then it broke, then it retested, right? Respected it, and then it fell. So we kind of broke this little low right here. So again, it's continued to fall. All right, and that's what I'm seeing. So now on the trend, you know, I'm on the 15, so the trend is down, right? That's what I see. So I want to look for sells. All right, so then I go to the 5-minute. Okay, and if it switch, oh, maybe, I couldn't go that low. All right, so hold on, I gotta, give me a second, I gotta do it like this. So I gotta get out of replay. All right, and then we gotta go to the 1-minute. All right, and then we gotta do it from here. All right, so go to a random. All right, here we are. So with this, I'm on the 15, and again, it still looks down. All right, price made a drastic move down. It broke this structure right around here. So I'll put it like right there. It broke right there, and then it kept going lower. All right, so the trend is down. I want to be looking for sells. right? There's some things that I see, the fair value gaps that I told you about earlier, guys, right? Shows the imbalance of sellers versus buyers. There wasn't enough buyers, right? Mandrell, you took your little sister food, right? It was unfair, right? But eventually your mom's going to tell you to give her some back, you know, to balance things out, to make it all right, And it hasn't happened just yet as far as the chart is concerned. But again, the trend is down. I'm looking for sells. So I found my trend on the 15. On the 5-minute, I'm just trying to confirm that the trend is still down by looking at the market structure. All right. And quite frankly, in a downtrend, guys, market structure looks like this. You know, you have higher highs, lower lows. So you have a high, you have a low, you have a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You guys will learn that language. I'll slow it down in a little bit when we get there, but that's the downtrend. All right. So am I seeing this structure on the 5-minute time frame to confirm that I'm still in the downtrend? Technically, I see the run, I see the pullback, I see the run, I see the pullback, but then right from here, guys, we go sideways. Okay, we don't really have this downward structure anymore. We only had it for about right here, and then it stopped, and then it went sideways. So therefore, technically, we are still in the downtrend, but the consolidation that we have right here is telling me that, we may not be in that downtrend for long. All right. So that's what I see here. So I'm still looking for sells. And when we sell, we want to sell high. We don't want to sell low. All right. So right now, I don't really see an area to sell from. All right. So if I go to the 1-minute time frame, you know, I already know, like, look, that's a mess. I'm not going to trade in this. All right. So I'm going to go back to the 5-minute. All right. And I'm just going to wait until I see price get a little higher, preferably, you know, mitigating this fair value gap, right? Balancing it out. All right. That's what the market likes to do, is seek liquidity and balance itself out. Right. Once you guys get to that level and understanding that, it's really game over, for sure. But I'm going to play a few candles. All right. I'll let it go here, and then let's go. All right. And okay, so it looks like it broke out of this consolidation, but really, you know, the consolidation is like this. So I'm really not taking it as an actual breakout. All right, so boom, it's like that. And let's keep going. All right, look, it's starting to push up. What do you think it's headed? Okay, let's see. And to a degree, it kind of did break out of here. All right, so we would consider that a break. And now this is retesting. So I think it's going to, you know, reject this little area here, but we'll see. Okay, what do you know? Starting to go up. Again, guys, you're going to learn a lot. All right, you just gotta show up. All right, come on. Is this the fastest? Looks like it is. But all I'm seeing is consolidation, guys. All right, I'm not really seeing an opportunity to sell yet. Right, I want price to get up to this area right here, and then I'll be looking for a potential selling opportunity. Man, sorry it's taking so long, guys, but that's how it is, and this is why we do what we do. All right, so now, all right, now I have a breakout. Okay, so out of this, all of this sideways movement, right, now price is starting to go back into that downtrend structure that I told you guys about a little earlier, right? Run, pullback, run, pullback, run, pullback, right? Like this, we're starting to get that. So basically, we got the run, we got the pullback, and now we're starting to get another run at this point. All right, so again, from that 15-minute time frame, I saw the trend was down. On the 5-minute time frame, I tried to confirm that the trend was down, but I couldn't confirm that it was down because it started to consolidate. Now, since it broke out of consolidation, now I've confirmed that the trend is down. All right, so I've done my due diligence on both time frames. The 15-minute, I found the trend is down. The 5-minute, I found that the structure, you know, wasn't confirmed to be down until just now. So now on the 1-minute time frame, I'm going to go and look for a trade. All right, so here again, look at the structure. You see, run, pullback, run, pullback, run, pullback, run, pullback, a little consolidation, now another run. So I'm expecting a pullback, right? I'm expecting price to go up a little bit. And there we go. Right here, price is going up. So now I see that, you know, this was an area of supply. You guys will learn about that. All right. Okay. And I really want it to touch this area, right? It got really close right here, but I would like to see it touch it. Hopefully it does. Let's see. It's getting close. All right. Boom. There it is. All right. So now I'm going to take a sell. All right. Right from here. Again, this is premature because I did not wait for any bear candles to show up to show me that price wants to start going down from this area. So just know that that's premature. All right. But here, I'm going to take the position anyway. I'm going to put my stop right above the supply area. Okay. And I'm also aim for this low point, which is a take profit area. All right. So here we go. I'm going to just let it play. See if I win or lose it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it looks like I lost. Yeah, so I lost that trade. All right, guys, but this is generally just how that goes, right? How they look to scalp and enter a particular trade. All right, so that goes for every type of trader that you are, right? It's just depending on the type of trader that you are, you're looking at different time frames. Does that make any sense, guys? Do y'all have any questions around that? Leonie, wrote, Andrea, y'all good?
Yeah.
Good, bro. Learning.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, that was, some time frame stuff that we were learning. But now, you guys learn about the candles. All right. Now we need to learn about support and resistance. All right, guys. The best way to learn about support and resistance, guys, if you pick any pair, I don't care what it is, right? You go to the higher time frame. Here's a great example of it right here. So what you guys are noticing when you look at this, area right here, right? I'm going to highlight it like this so you know what area I'm talking about, right? All of this, right? This is giving us a good example of what support and resistance is. Okay, so get rid of the consolidation box, but now I'm going to show you guys that if I place a horizontal line at the top right here, right, this is going to be resistance. If I place a horizontal line near the bottom, right, this is going to be support. All right, and I'm going to color it accordingly. So again, what support and resistance is at a basic level, guys, it's just where resistance is an area where price is not getting above it, right? So just peep how when we're here, we get in the wicks. Mandrell, what's the wicks above the candles mean?
Bearish.
Bearish what?
Bearish pressure.
Boom. All right. Leonie, what does wicks below the candle mean?
Bullish pressure.
Boom. All right. So notice bullish pressure, price shot up. Bearish pressure, price shot down. I just want y'all to pay attention to that. All right. But again, in terms of support and resistance, so second, all right. So in terms of support and resistance, again, guys, price for when you can spot levels where price is failing to break above an area, this is your resistance. Okay. It's a invisible psychological zone, point, area, whatever you want to call it. All right. But you can see it visually with your eyes without having to put like a line on there, right? But it helps when you put the line because it stamps that your visualization of what you saw. It just, it writes it, it tattoos it, if you will, right? It's always there so that you can see it, so you don't have to think about it. The line is giving you the representation of it. So that's resistance. If you notice with resistance, all the candles are staying below resistance. Okay. And that's what makes it resistance, because the candles are below that line. Okay. And a lot of times we also draw it as zones. Okay. Because this is something that, you guys, when you're starting to understand, like, why would I draw this as a zone instead of just a line? Well, clearly you can see that sometimes when price gets up here, it doesn't respect just that line, right? It breaks it a little bit, breaks it a little bit, breaks it a lot, right? Gets right to it, breaks it a little bit here, gets, a little bit below it, breaks a little bit above it, right? A little bit above it. But ultimately, out of each one of these times that you see price in this zone, it falls. Came back up, it fell. Came back up, it fell. Came back up, it fell. Guys, my kids were like 7 and 8 years old when I started teaching them how to trade. And we would find pairs just like this where we had a nice what we call consolidation, right? Where price was just bouncing from support, bouncing to resistance. And I told my kids to do this. Every time price gets up here, sell it. Every time price gets down to support, buy it. Do y'all know my kids' account was looking stupid? Okay, off the basic concept, guys. This is really what trading is all about. I call it game of zones. All right, not Game of Thrones, but game of zones. You're just trying to find the opportunity to trade in between your support and resistance zones, right? But you're gonna man, all right, that's resistance, right? Where the candles are below price. Ro, what is resistance when candles are what?
Resistance is when the candles they're gonna go down because that's like the where price is being rejected.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And the candles are always going to be below your line or your zone, your resistance line or your resistance zone. It's always better to have resistance as a zone instead of just a line, because that line isn't going to get respected by price. That zone is the general area of where price is going to most likely turn around. Look how many times price actually got out of the zone versus when it got above the line, right? So the line, it got above it, it got right to it, got above it, got above it, got above it. So if you're just going by the line, right, you're going to get got, thinking that you can sell it and just place your stop loss right behind that line, right? No, look, it pushed up and took you out, right? It pushed up here and took you out, right? So you guys got to understand the lines are better than the zones, but resistance is where price is failing to go higher, right? It's failing to get it's just failing to go higher. That's the bottom line, right? It's a zone or an area where price is respecting, right, to where it's not getting higher. All right. So then can somebody tell me what support would be? Anybody? What would support be? If resistance is an area or a zone where price is not getting higher than it, what is support?
It's the area where it won't get any lower.
That is absolutely correct. All right. So boom, here is where it touched, all the areas that it touched support. Okay, this got real deep. All right, but here and here, all right, and here we didn't even, we didn't even make it down here. All right, but if we draw out our zone, okay, all right, boom, there it is, right? So again, if you drew it as a line, look, your line got you got again, got again, but here even the zone, got a little broken through. But you guys will learn, a lot of things about what you still have to take into consideration before you actually get into a trade, right? When price gets up to these areas where there's resistance or support, that doesn't mean you just sell it, right? When it gets to resistance, that doesn't mean you just sell it. Even though you saw like in the past, it got to resistance, it fell, it doesn't mean you just sell it. When it gets to resistance, we look for what we call confirmations. And basically that's when the bears start showing up. All right. And that's why it was so important for you guys to understand how bull and bear candle open up, right? Because if you look here, right, look at the body here. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Right, look at the body of that candle compared to the body of this candle. Do you see what I'm saying? So with you guys knowing, hey, there's bullish pressure here and there's bearish pressure here to where things kind of seem even. But on this candle, there's hella more bullish pressure just by the body alone. So if you would have gotten to a trade off of this candle, not just because price was at resistance, but after you got confirmation that bears are in the market, you sold, guess what? Boom, take profit smash. And you would have known to, take your money to where it gets to this area, because there's something called look left or looking in the past, to where when you're looking left, you see that, hey, this was the last place that price got to before it started to rise. So if you're selling it and you want to take your money, people ask this question all the time. How do I know when to take my money? Where do I supposed to take my money? Like nobody knows that answer. And it's just this simple. look left, look in the past, see where's the lowest price got to before it started rising. And then when they do that, they go, oh shit, I look left and I see this is the lowest it got to before it went up. So that's where I should take my money. Boom, bam. Answers, the question is answered. And it's just that simple. I'm trying to tell you guys, a lot of this stuff is extremely simple, right? But you don't know how to formulate it. You don't know how to put it together, right? It's a big puzzle. And especially if you've never done it before, you guys, you feel like, what am I getting myself into, right? You know what I mean? Because there's, it's like a new language almost, right? Forex is Chinese, right? And who wants to go and learn Chinese? You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to really dive into, the time that it'll take to learn Chinese. But, when you guys do it on your own, right, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer than doing it with a group or a team. All right. It's just the way it is, right? Just picture me as Jordan, right? And I'm teaching y'all basketball. Okay. You're much rather have Jordan teaching you basketball than your daddy who's an accountant. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. All right. So please understand, guys, I'm going to elevate you way sooner than if you try to do all of this on your own. All right. So please rock with me. All right. But again, Leone said it best. The support area is a zone or area where price is failing to go lower than that area. All right. The resistance is the complete opposite. Price is failing to go higher than that area. So we have what we call our zones, our resistance zone and our support zone. Again, guys, support, the candles are going to stay above that zone. That's what's going to make it support. When it's resistance, the candles are going to stay below that zone. That's what makes it resistance. Then we have an interesting thing that happens. I'm going to expand resistance out. And now look, all in the past, right here, respect, drop, respect, drop, respect, drop, respect, drop, respect, drop, respect, drop. Uh-oh, what happened here? What happened here? We broke that zone. Guys, whenever you get a zone to become broken, it turns into the opposite zone. Does that make any sense? So basically resistance, this was once resistance, but since we broke above it, now this zone becomes support. Guys, is that making any sense whatsoever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a pop quiz. If when we break above resistance, it becomes support, what happens if we were to break below support? What happens then, guys? What happens to the support zone?
Become resistant.
That's right. Why does it become resistance? It's a very simple answer. So don't try to complicate it. But it broke support and that zone now became resistance. But why did it come resistance? It's a very simple answer. Remember, think about where the candles are in relation to support and resistance.
It's in another zone.
Say it again.
It's in another zone.
Nope, that's not it. That's not the answer. Take another shot. Why? We broke support. So you were right when you said that it became resistance, that area became resistance. But can anybody tell me why that area became resistance? It's a very simple answer.
What a great run by Tyler Huntley.
Started a new support.
Nope. Leone, Ro, y'all want to take a crack?
Because the pressure was bearish.
So you were breaking up on me and you were coming in slow, but I heard you say because the pressure was bearish. Was that what you said?
Yeah, that is what I said.
Okay. Nope. That's not why that area became resistance. Ro, what do you think?
I'm not sure exactly.
All right. So y'all ready for this? Say it again.
It broke the support.
Well, no. You said that at first, and you were right about that. It broke support, so that zone became resistance. But here's the real reason why that zone is not resistance, guys, because the candles. All right, I'm gonna draw a little candle. Okay, because the candles are below that zone. Okay, remember, guys, if we're talking resistance, the candles are below that zone. If we're talking support, it's because the candles are above that zone. It's that simple. Don't complicate it more than that, guys. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you complicate it more than that, you're going to start trying to put in all these other things to fill in the reason why that's support or resistance. And you don't need to do that. All right. So hear me once again. The reason why when we broke support, this became resistance because the candles were below the zone. Okay. So why
That's
when
what
we
I was
broke,
trying to say. That's what I was trying to say.
oh yeah, and you were saying bearish pressure. No, I'm with you. I completely understand. And I get that. But this is, when you're new to it, you're just trying, you don't know the wording, right? You know what I mean? You don't know how to really say it. But this is why I tell you guys to take a crack at it, because you're closer than you think. You just, you know what I'm saying? Like once I said, you go, yeah, that's what I meant. You feel what I'm saying? But now you really get to see, now you really get to see in a simplistic way why it is what it is. So are y'all with me now? Are y'all with me on why the zones are support or resistance? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to quiz you right now, Mandrell. This was once resistance. We broke above it. So now it's support. But why is it support? Very simple answer.
I don't think people understand a delay of game
Because of the counter broke the zone.
That's right. But where are the candles in relation to the zone?
Above the resistance.
Boom. No, above the support. So
Support. I mean, yeah.
yeah. So that's right. Again, guys, hear my words. Hear my words. If the candles are below the zone, that zone is resistance. If the candles are above the zone, that zone is support. I'm gonna write it down. If the candles are above the zone is resistance. If the candles are below, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. So that was all wrong. Hold on, give me a second. All right, so I can't, nope, can't delete that. All right, so hold on. If the candles are above the zone is support. All right, sorry about that, guys. All right, so erase that first one. All right, and then if the candles are below the zone, then that zone is resistance. All right, so it's the last two. All right, so if the candles are above the zone, that zone is support. If the candles are below the zone, that zone is resistance. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean up the chart. All right, and I'm going to just bring you guys over here. All right, and we're going to do a little test. All right, so here. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Row, which zone has the most touches? Support or resistance?
Support.
Okay, why do you say support has the most touches?
You drew 3 points and resistance only got 2.
So boom. Okay. That is absolutely right. Resistance only had 2. Okay. What is this zone now? Well, before you answer that, did price break below support? Yes or no?
Before you drew that last line, no, but
That is correct.
now it is below the support, so now it's resistance.
That is absolutely correct. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to ask you the $1 million question. right? You've already gotten this being right as resistance, but why is it resistance?
Because the candles are now below the
That's
support line.
there we go. There we go. All right, listen, guys. All right, y'all got the candles down, and now y'all are getting support and resistance down. I'm telling y'all, building block on building block, and before y'all know it, y'all gonna be dangerous. Y'all gonna be like, holy shit, I didn't think I was gonna get this fast. But you're gonna get it. All right. So listen, that is absolutely correct. And again, round of applause to you. So now, all right, Leone. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, which zone has more touches? Oh, come on now, don't do me like that.
Something happened and I can't see the screen because I got out of this chat, the window, so I can't see it right now.
All right, let me take it off and then I'll put it back for you. Hold on. Let me see if that brings it back up.
I think it might be. Oh, thanks.
All right, did that do it?
Yeah.
All right, brought it back. All right, so now hold on. I'll zoom it in for you. All right, so I guess it won't let me go too far. Oh, come on, come on. All right, there we go. So which zone got more touches? Oh, why does it keep doing this? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. All right, so I guess it's not gonna let me do certain things. All right, but go ahead. What do you think? Support or resistance? Which got more touches?
The support did.
Okay, how many touches did it get?
4.
All right. How many touches did resistance get?
3.
All right. So I'm glad you said 3 and not 0. I drew price reversing before it touched the line on purpose to see if
I
you would.
can't see that. That second one, it didn't go the whole way, or the third one, it didn't go the whole way.
Neither one of them.
Okay.
And again, that was all on purpose to see if you would count it as a touch or not, because it didn't touch the line. But I told you guys, support and resistance is never a line. Okay, I'm just putting lines so that you guys will know where the area is, but this is your real resistance area. Okay, this is your real support area or zone. Pick your, you can call it what you want, area, zone, whatever, right? Place, right, is whatever you want to call it. But you can see that if we're going by the zone, we have those 3 touches. That's why you counted it as 3, and I'm glad you did, because again, I'm trying to program you guys to not look at just this point or this area, or this line, instead of the area. All right, all of the price action that happened in the same area. All right, so those touches are valid. All right, so now, all right, let's see if we can get it. Come on. All right, so now tell me what just happened.
It broke out of the resistance.
Okay, so that is correct.
It went above.
No, that's right. Either way, that was right. You had it right. Why is this resistance? What? So this was resistance, but now what does this zone become? If it breaks resistance, what is this zone now?
Becomes support.
That is correct. Okay. Why does it become support? $1 million question. Very simple answer. And I'll give you a hint. It's in the chat.
Because it doesn't go any lower.
Nope. 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 Think about where the candle is. So I know I got just a line, but again, let's just put a candle. All right. Where is the candle in relation to your zone?
I'm not sure.
It's above the zone. Are you with me?
Yeah, I am.
And you see, like, I know you saw it. You know what I mean? You didn't say it, but I know you saw it. You know what I mean? And now that I say it, you really see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's your quiz. All right. What happened now?
It dropped through the resistance
This one? It dropped
on the
through.
bottom. Yeah, it went through the resistance, so it's below.
Oh, no, it went through support.
Which means it went through support. Yeah,
Okay.
support.
So now what does this zone become? If it broke support, what does this zone now become?
It becomes the resistance.
Okay. All right. Cool. So now, why does it become resistance?
Because it's below.
That's right. The candles are below the zone. Guys, I'm telling y'all gonna have to get this. I don't care how many times you got to repeat it to yourself or write it down or look it over. This is going to be critical. Okay, very, very critical to you making money. Okay, if you guys are really looking to trade different things like Forex or whatever, right? I don't, again, this applies to options, this applies to everything, that you can't escape this. All right. But when you're talking support and resistance, you're talking about where the candles are in relation to the zones. So again, guys, if we have consolidation where prices is going up, down, up, down, up, down, right? Let me give you the three looks. You're only going to get these three looks, guys. Watch me. Check me out. You're going to get uptrend. You're going to get consolidation. And you're going to get downtrend. Okay, guys, this is consolidation where you just got a level. Again, we can just do it with a line, but we know that it really is a zone. Okay, it's a zone. And then again, you got your uptrend, right? Your uptrend. And then you got your downtrend. These are the only three phases of the market you guys are ever going to get. We do not make money. Well, we can make money, but we typically don't make money in the consolidation phase. We make money in the uptrend phase and we make money in the downtrend phase, guys, right? In the uptrend phase, we make money by buying from the low, buying from the low, buying from the low. I know this seems confusing because it's going higher, all right? But I'll explain that. And then in a downtrend, we buy from the high, we buy from the high. I'm sorry, we sell from the high, we sell from the high, and then we sell from the high again. All right. So what I'm teaching you guys, right, is the basics of support, which was here at the time, and then resistance, which was at the top. And again, support and resistance is designated by where the candles are in relation to the zone that you drew. So that's more important than anything, guys. You are not going to identify your zones correctly if you're not looking at where the candles are in relation to where the zones are. So if you have a support zone, that means all of the candles are above that zone. That's why you call it support. So if support is ever broken, Leonie, right, now the candle is below the zone. That's why it becomes resistance. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, give me some questions, all right, that you have about support and resistance. All right. There's a little more to know about it, but give me any questions that you have about it so far. I want to make sure that you guys are at least understanding, what it's about and, why it switches, when it gets broken. All right. So any questions? And if you don't have questions, say, I don't have any questions. But please let me know if you do have some questions about it.
You answered the question for me. Just with that answered a question I had. So thanks.
You got it. Ro, Mandrell, any questions, guys?
No, I'm good, bro.
All right. Ro, you good?
Mm-mm.
All right.
So you
Yep.
said, yeah,
I like
you
that.
do not.
I'm not good. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You said that you don't make money when it's consolidating. You only make money in an uptrend or a downtrend.
Well, yes. So let me elaborate. We can absolutely make money because, again, this is how I taught my kids how to trade, through consolidation, right? So I would find a pair that had, well, that was consolidating, right, where it was just going up and down like this, and I would tell them, hey, when it reaches here, you sell it, and then when it reaches here, you buy it, and they made money as long as it was consolidating. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm gonna drop a bomb on you guys right now. Consolidation is indecision in the market. You got buyers and sellers that are not willing to buy higher or buy lower than this price, and you got sellers that are not willing to sell higher than this price. So therefore, it just keeps going between these two zones. In reality, what's happening, there's a lot of manipulation happening in regards to Forex. What's happening is the banks, okay? These are the people who provide the money. We call it liquidity. They provide the money. Think about it. Take a time out. If you're buying something, who's selling it to you? If you're selling something, who's buying it from you? Okay? Think about that. Let that sit in for a quick second. Okay? The answer, the banks are. The hedge funds are. The institutional people who play in this Forex market, they're the ones taking the opposite side of your trade. And sometimes it's retail traders, but we don't move the market like that. And when it's retail traders, you get what you see right here, which is consolidation. All right, where it's like, hey, Ro, I want to sell silver at $3, and then you're like, okay, well, I'll buy it at $3, and now it goes up to $5, and you're like, hey, Bain, I want to sell it at $5, and I'm like, shit. You know what I mean? I don't really want to sell it at, I don't want to buy it at $5. I sold it at $3. You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes this little back and forth, like a little tug of war between the retail traders, right? So you're getting so many people saying that they want to buy, so many people saying that they want to sell, but the banks are just sitting there and looking at what we're doing, right? So at the end of it all, when consolidation is over, right, the banks have been able to tally up who has more money that have been placed in trade. Is it the buyers or the sellers, right? If it's the buyers, guess what they're going to do? They're going to manipulate it. They're going to push price down, okay? And then they're going to make it go up. That's how they get your money, because your stops and everything are at the bottom. It's below where you bought. So they push it down, take your money. That money fuels their position to go up. All right. And then vice versa. If it was more sellers, if there was more money in selling in the consolidation, the banks will push price up. Okay, this is manipulation. This is high level stuff. I'm gonna come back to the basic answer of this consolidation, making money in this consolidation. But the banks will push it up if there was more sellers in the consolidation, and then they will push it down. So many people that have joined me throughout the years have said, why is it that when I get in a trade, it goes against me, I lose, and then it goes in my direction? I'm explaining to you guys why right now. Because you don't understand market manipulation. You don't understand how the banks use your money to fuel their position, right? Everybody's with this retail state of mind. And when it comes to trading, you guys can't think like retail traders. You have to think like the institutional traders. We get in with the wave. They have the big money. We get in on the positions that they make, on the moves that they make. That's how we make money. Okay, guys, we don't trade against the banks. I mean, we're trading against them, but we don't trade against them. Right? You know what I'm saying? We trade in the direction that they do, but you got to understand the psychology in order to even do that. This is why so many people fail. They have no clue that this even exists. They don't even know, right? So again, you're going in blind, you're bound to, just crash and, you know, hit a wall and everything else in between. And that's why people give up so easily. Well, I'm not gonna say easily, but that's why they give up. All right. But Ro, to answer your question, right, with making money in consolidation, you can, as long as you sell high from support, I mean from resistance, or you buy low from support. But this is not ideal, because if I show you, look, this is consolidation, but look how much it went, you know, it's just you don't really want that, right? Versus, let me try to give you something where you can really see. All right, let's get out of replay mode. Hold on. All right, and I'm cleaning up the charts for a second. All right, but look at this. All right, right here. You see this? This is a downward move. Okay, from right about this high all the way down to, you know, about right here. Okay, this is a downward move. All right, and basically I'm gonna do a measurement, all right, from here, from that high down to that low, and I can see what it reads right here. This is basically this is silver, so it gets counted a little differently, but you can see it's a 12-point move. So right here is 9 and right here is 21, so it's about 12, right? It's about a 12-point move on silver. Silver pays crazy. All right, so I won't get into the math of all of that, but just know that this was a 12-point move. All right, now let's go over to where price was consolidating, right? And I'm gonna just take, it's really all of this as consolidation right here, but I'm gonna just take this in piece right here. I'm gonna just take this consolidation end piece, and I'm gonna do a measurement on this from the top to the bottom. It only went 2 points. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying to you, Ro? There's more money to be made when price is trending than when it's consolidating. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that you can't make money if you sold from here and you bought from here. You would be making money, but you won't be making the kind of money that you would make if you were buying it while it was trending. Is that making any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, does that answer what you wanted to know about consolidation or no?
Yeah, it does. You're just not making what a good profit would be.
So that's subjective. I got to say that, because if you're a scalper, right, you're looking at this you know, I think like scalpers like consolidation, because they can get in at that lower time frame and catch it from the very high, catch it from the very low, and just, you know, catch it to those areas, making a lot of money. What scalpers do is they typically will put on a higher position because they know that they're going to be just in and out. So there's a situation where, you know, we got lot sizes. All right, guys. So I'm gonna write it on the thing. And again, you know, we're kind of, you know, just getting bits and pieces of information together here, but I promise you guys, it'll all come together very, very soon. You guys will know that we talked about candles. You'll know that we talked about support and resistance. You know, what makes a zone support and resistance, what happens when it breaks, right? We talked about the time frames. We talked about the different type of traders, swing traders, day traders, and scalpers. And now I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the lot size, right? Like how the money's made. All right. So with the lot size, you got three lot size types. All right, and they're called lots. All right, so that's the name of what we call the units of measurement to determine how you're going to make money. All right, so you got 0.01, that's called a micro. 0.10 is called a mini, and then 1.00 is called a standard. All right, so mini, again, forgive me if it's all, you know, crazy. All right, there's mini, there's, I'm sorry, micro, that was micro. All right, so MICRO, okay, micro, mini, okay, and standard. I'm gonna just put ST. All right, standard. All right, those are your 3 lot types. And again, guys, these will never change, right? It'll always be, you're either taking out a micro, a mini, or a standard. All right, so we say, oh, I took out a micro lot on silver. And then I would know, oh, you took out a 0.01. Somebody say, oh, well, I took out a mini lot, right? And I'll say, okay, you took out a 0.10, right? And then somebody say, oh, well, I took out a standard lot. And then I'll know, oh, you took out a 1.00, right? So all three of us in here, right? Ro, if you took out a micro lot, this pays 10.
Want to get money? Want to get paid? That's Forex. Like a sensei, then you know you got to come and swing my way. And if you want to fast forward, hit replay.